Eric Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and we have been given a lot of new features inside of Saturn 2. I've got an example showing off quite a few of them. Let's jump right into it. So first off, I have this like small guitar track thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and start it sort of halfway through here because that's where I think it's best showing off. And I'm going to go ahead and bypass it first and just let you give it a listen. So that's what we're dealing with. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on and just see how many new things you can spot. All right, so let's jump right into it. So first off, we have a bunch of new amp sims that are just really, really great. I was trying to show off, them as we went. You may have also noticed that now modulation is extremely visual. So what I have here is I am triggering this middle band via a sidechain input, and it is now much, much easier to tell what's going on. So I have the drums wired via sidechain into the guitar, and then I have that going into Saturn. Now down here we have the ability to add modulation sources, whole bunch of goodness in there. I'm only going to focus on the envelope generator right now. And they've done a couple things. One of the really great things is now they have bevels, so we're able to move them up and down and change their concavity extremely easily. I've changed it to be triggered via a side chain, and I've altered the threshold to reflect that. And this is going right over to the drive. And it is super easy to tell what's going on because we could see the drive, how much it's being turned up by the line in blue on the outside. There's also like an intensity light right here that also sort of informs us. So if it's brighter, that means that it's modulating more. And if it's like less bright, then it's modulating less. So that is pretty cool. And this is a really handy way also to just add some interest to pretty much anything. Just sidechain it in and let a envelope driver sort of move that along. So yeah, they've added the ability to do these bevels. That's extremely useful. I've got a pretty quick attack and a longer release on this, about half a second release, which I think is pretty long. Another thing that we could do now that is extremely useful is we're able to change the crossover filter from 6 dB to 48 dB. So if you really want to separate one band from another, you can now do that with a pretty high level of precision. And if you would like them to blend more, then you can go for a wider band. So this is a super welcome change. You also may have noticed that the visualizer is just fantastic looking. It looks really, really good. Another great change they added is now we can go to a full screen mode, which is super great. You can see all the gloriousness of your spectrum and all its details. And they've also added a lot of resize options. So before we only had 2, and now we've got a whole bunch more. So this is really, really handy and a very welcome change. Thank you very much. So there's just a basic case use in several of the new things that are coming along with Saturn 2, and something you should try out in your next track. Go ahead, pull up a side chain, crank it up, connect it to a couple of things, and let it work its magic. Try out some of the new distortions that we have here, some of the amp sims, and just get right to it. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.